Once upon a time, there was a tailor. No, not that tailor. I meant a tailor who, makes clothes. Why are you looking at me like that? You want to be Taylor? Fine, be Taylor. Once upon a time, Taylor was poor. I know, it's hard to imagine, but Taylor was sewing and making clothes and tailoring, as tailors do, when she heard a voice call from outside. "Jelly! I got jelly! Come and buy some of my jelly!" Taylor peeked out her window to see an old lady screaming about jelly at the top of her lungs. This was music to Taylor's ears. "Come up here," Taylor called from the window. "I'll buy some jelly." The old lady carried her heavy jars of jelly up the many flights of stairs to Taylor's apartment. She was huffing and puffing by the time she got there. "How much jelly do you want?" Taylor picked up a jar of jelly. She put her nose against it and started sniffing aggressively. "I'll take 4 ounces. 4 ounces is not a lot of jelly. It's only like a 1/4 pound of jelly." The old lady begrudgingly gave Taylor the jelly, and Taylor handed her the money. The old lady marched off. "I walk all the way up here with my bad knees to sell this chick some jelly, and all she buys is 4 ounces? That's it? I got bills to pay." This old lady seems important, but you will never see her again. Maybe she got a heart attack from going up and down all those stairs. I don't know. Anyway, Taylor gets some nice fresh bread to go with her jelly. She takes one bite, and wow! It's like she took steroids, because she starts to stitch very gallantly. Whatever that means. But Taylor isn't the only one who likes jelly. The flies hiding in her apartment also liked jelly. They flocked around the jelly. Taylor shooed them away. The flies flocked around the jelly again. Taylor shooed them away. But when the flies tried to take a bite of her precious jelly a 3rd time, Taylor grabbed a rag and started beating the crap out of those flies. Wa-cha! 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 She was like a ninja. Hee-yaw! When Taylor came out of her rage, she looked down to find 7 dead flies lying before her. Wow, I did that. I'm awesome. I'm literally so gallant. Everyone has got to know about this. Taylor made a sign that read, 7 at 1 blow. All caps. She needed to travel the world. Everyone needed to know how heroic she was. Everyone needed to worship her. Taylor really didn't have anything useful to take on her journey, because she was poor. So she grabbed some cheese and put it in her pocket, a snack for the trip. When she went outside, she saw vultures circling the dark clouds. She snatched one and shoved it in her pocket with the cheese for reasons unknown. Miraculously, it actually fit in her pocket, and we all know how tiny women's pockets are. She traveled and hiked in the mountains. While traversing one of the mountain peaks, she came across a giant. "Sup," Taylor said to the giant. The giant took one look at her and gave her the finger. "Read my sign." Taylor held up the sign. 7 at 1 blow. The giant thought that meant she'd killed 7 people with one swing. Not realistic at all, but it's on a sign, so it must be true.
"All right, but can you do this?"
The giant took a rock and crushed it with his bare hands. Easy peasy. Taylor took out her cheese and crushed it in her hands, a little sad that she never got the chance to eat it. It's a well-known fact that giants have difficulty differentiating rocks and cheese, so the giant was all like,
"Whoa."
The giant took another rock and threw it so high it went all the way up to the clouds.
"How about that?"
I'll do you one better. Your rock couldn't resist the pull of gravity. My rock won't come back down. Taylor took the vulture out of her pocket and threw it in the air. The bird flew for its life. it had suffered dearly by being trapped in such a confined space with odiously stinky cheese. I guess everything looks like rocks to giants, because this giant was mildly impressed with Taylor's feat.
Well, yeah, that's cool and all, I guess. But you probably can't, carry a tree. You can't do that, can you?
Bet. Taylor spotted a dead tree lying on its side a few yards away. You lift the trunk, and I'll lift the branches, because the branches have leaves and foliage and stuff, which obviously makes them, 100 times heavier.
Yeah, that logic checks out.
So the giant lifted up the trunk and started walking, and since the giant couldn't see behind him, Taylor was able to chill out in the tree branches.
You aren't getting tired at all?
The giant asked. Nah, I'm chillin', bruh. Taylor proceeded to sing the lyrics to Christmas Tree Farm. You know, to rub it in the giant's face, 'cause making a giant mad is a really good idea. Eventually, the giant got tired because trees are heavy. He set the tree down. Taylor laughed. Imagine not being able to carry a flimsy tree.
I bet you can't do this.
The giant grabbed the branches of a cherry tree, bending the tree almost in half as he dragged the top toward the ground. He attempted to transfer hold of the tree to Taylor, but as soon as Taylor grabbed on, the giant let go, and Taylor was flung into the sky. Luckily, she landed back on the ground safely. Don't ask me how. Taylor just has a really thick plot armor.
You can't even hold on to a tiny sprig,
The giant accused.
How can you claim yourself strong?
I am strong, Taylor insisted. I was just showing off my vault skills. The giant was skeptical. I bet you can't jump over the tree, Taylor taunted.
Yeah, I can,
the giant claimed. So naturally, he attempted to leap over the tree and got himself tangled in the branches. He looked like a fool. So Taylor laughed at him again. The giant was starting to get fed up with this girl.
You know what? Since you're just so amazing, why don't you stay at my place tonight? I'm sure someone as awesome as you needs her beauty sleep.
Facts. Taylor followed the giant to his cave, because sleeping at an aggressive stranger's house overnight did not set off any internal alarms whatsoever. The giant offered Taylor his bed. Once the giant went to sleep, Taylor was all like, "This bed is hella uncomfortable. What fairy tale does he think this is, The Princess and the Pea? Honestly, I'd rather sleep on the floor." Taylor found a nice corner to rest in, which turned out to be a pretty good decision, because around midnight the giant woke up and smashed the bed to pieces. He'd assumed that Taylor had been in the bed when he frantically decimated it, so he went back to sleep thinking Taylor to be dead. But Taylor hadn't been in the bed, so she was still very much alive. But Taylor was a heavy sleeper, so she slept through the entire attempted murder. In the morning, the giant woke up and went about his usual business. "Hey, dude, did you sleep well?" The giant looked down to see Taylor, alive and well. He paled as if he'd seen a ghost, 'cause in his mind, he had.
Witch!
The giant pointed at Taylor.
You're a witch!
He then proceeded to run for his life, fearing Taylor might take his revenge on him, since, he tried to kill her and all. Okay? Taylor was confused, but she had stuff to get done, so she marched to the nearest kingdom and promptly fell asleep on a bench. Of course, she'd brought her sign with her, so as people looked at the mysterious stranger napping on public property, they were informed of how said stranger killed 7 with a single blow. And they, like the giant, believed that meant she'd killed 7 people rather than 7 flies with a single blow. And there's still no proof to support this claim, but it was on a sign, so it must be true. The townspeople told their king of this fierce warrior, and the king knew that he just had to have Taylor as one of his knights. As soon as Taylor woke, the king offered her a job in his guard. Taylor shrugged. Sure, why not? But the other knights didn't like Taylor. They thought she was obnoxious because she was always going on about how she killed 7 at one blow. She thinks she's all that. She honestly doesn't live up to the hype. Well, don't tell her that. Why not? She'll kill us, Dave! All of the knights eventually resigned. Sorry, Your Majesty, but we didn't sign up for this. Sign up for what? Taylor! She ate all of our jelly! And I was really looking forward to eating biscuits this morning. The king didn't want to see his loyal guards leave him, but he didn't have much choice. He didn't want Taylor to go on a killing spree, and she surely would if the king fired her. The king had to find a way to get rid of Taylor without making her mad. Hey, Taylor!
What's up?
I need you to kill 2 giants for me. Say less. These giants are guilty of arson, robbery, and mass murder. Cool. Can I go kill them now? I will give you half of my kingdom and my only daughter's hand in marriage if you succeed. I mean, I would have done it for free, but it's okay if you don't succeed. If you die, that's perfectly acceptable and it will not be held against you. Okay? I will give you 100 horsemen to assist you on your quest. Duly noted. I'm gonna go commit homicide now. Taylor rode off to the giant's lair with the horsemen. Once she got there, she insisted the horsemen stay a good distance away. Why? The horseman asked. 'Cause you're losers! Taylor entered the lair alone. Luckily, the 2 giants were asleep on the floor next to each other. Taylor grabbed a nearby pile of rocks and climbed into a tree. There are lots of trees and rocks and giants in this story, I know, but stay with me. Taylor dropped a rock on the stomach of one of the giants. The giant only twitched. Taylor dropped another rock on the giant, but the giant remained asleep. Taylor kept chucking rocks at the giant until he woke up.
Dude, why do you keep throwing rocks at me? I'm trying to sleep. What do you mean? I'm not throwing rocks at you. Yes, you are, and it's not funny, so stop.
But
whatever.
The giants went back to sleep. Taylor started chucking rocks at the other giant.
Oh my gosh, dude, stop. Stop what? Stop throwing rocks at me. You were the one who threw rocks at me.
Was not.
Was too. You know what? It's 2 in the morning. There's no need to argue about this. Let's just go back to sleep.
And that's what they did. But Taylor wasn't done yet. She grabbed the biggest rock she had and threw it with all her might at the first giant's chest.
Okay, that's it!
The first giant punched the second giant right in the face.
What the hell, man?
The giants got in a fist fight. The fist fight was so intense that they actually killed each other. Taylor smiled. My work here is done. Taylor used her sword to make a few slash marks on the giants so that it looked like she stabbed them to death or something. Hey, horse people! I killed the giants! Taylor called out. The horsemen rushed in to find both giants dead on the ground, wounded by Taylor's sword. Well, I'm glad I'm not on her bad side. Taylor and the horsemen made their way back to the king and delivered the news of their success. That's so great, the king said through bared teeth. But, before I give you your reward, I need you to, capture a rabid unicorn. A rabid unicorn? Yep. Bet. Taylor traveled into the woods where the unicorn dwelled with nothing but a rope and an axe. When the unicorn spotted Taylor, it ran towards her at full speed. Taylor stood still until the unicorn was mere feet away. Then she quickly moved behind a tree, and the unicorn ran directly into said tree, getting its horn stuck in the bark. Ha ha ha, sucker! Taylor tied up the unicorn with the rope, chopped off its horn with the axe so that it wouldn't stay stuck to the tree, and dragged it back to the king. Here you go. Yay! You did it! Did you think I wouldn't?
Yes.
What? I mean, no. I have complete confidence in your abilities. Which is why you should go kill a wild boar in the woods. Why? Because I said so. You know, I'm starting to think that you just don't want to give me half your kingdom and your only daughter's hand in marriage.
What? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right. Don't you want to go kill that boar now? I do like killing things. Yeah, no shit. Taylor took off on her journey. As soon as the boar saw Taylor, it ran towards her at full speed, because every animal ever just has an instinctual hatred for Taylor. As Taylor was running for her life, she saw an abandoned chapel nearby. How convenient! She ran into the chapel, and the boar followed her. Taylor then jumped out of a window. The boar was a big back, so it couldn't follow Taylor through the window. It turned back to run through the door, but the door magically closed. I guess the Holy Spirit's a Swiftie. Anyway, the boar was trapped. You know the drill. Taylor killed it, brought it back to the king, blah, blah, blah. Point is, the king could no longer delay Taylor's reward. He granted her half of his kingdom and watched solemnly as Taylor married his daughter. Taylor was a king now! One night, as King Taylor lay next to her wife in bed, she started talking in her sleep. Or rather, singing in her sleep, 'cause it's Taylor Swift. Of course she's gonna sing. Taylor's wife was tired of Taylor giving her a private concert at 3 a.m. when she was trying to sleep. So Taylor's wife went to her father. Dad, this chick won't shut up. I'm trying to sleep, but she's practically screaming the lyrics to Champagne Problems at the top of her god-awful lungs. Every single night. I am going insane. Please, Dad, do something. The king consoled his daughter. I could kill her for you. When she's sleeping, open the door, and one of my guards will sneak in your room and slit her throat.
Oh my gosh, Dad, no, that's awful. You would get blood all over my nice linen sheets.
Or I could just kidnap her and ship her off to a convent. But I think she's Jewish.
You married a Jew?
That night, once Taylor's wife thought Taylor was asleep, she quietly got out of bed, opened the door, and slipped back into bed. The guard waiting outside tiptoed into the room, prepared to snatch Taylor. But plot twist, Taylor wasn't actually asleep. She was wide awake.
Girl, I can see you.
The guard froze. I have slain 7 at one blow, killed 2 giants, caught a unicorn, and taken a wild boar. Do you think I'd hold back if you tried to attack me?
No, ma'am.
Darn right. So why don't you go back to your room, and we can pretend like this never happened. The guard went back to his room, and Taylor lived as a king for the rest of her days. Which wasn't very many days, because remember those flies from earlier? The ones that Taylor so brutally murdered? Well, while Taylor was off doing her thing, the flies were busy assembling an army to avenge their dead brethren. To enact their grand revenge, they gave Taylor's entire kingdom dysentery. And, you can guess what happened after that. Woohoo! The end. I've got jelly! 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 I've got the jelly! I've got the jelly! I've got the jelly! Oh. Ow! I'm not so good. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yes, you wonder. Stand right. Ow! Oh, God! Wait, I didn't get this. Go. Get ready. You know, to rub it in the giant's face. The people will making the giant mad. And da the word. Eventually, the giant has to. How do I get down?
Hey guys, Big over here. No one wants to play with me. Like, I'm just a big softy on the inside, okay, guys? There's a dude coming by. He just looked at me like I'm a psychiatric maniac. Does that work?
Grayson, what just happened?
I just got a job interview. A guy asked me to cut his lawn. He's like, hey, are you guys still cutting lawns? Because I know you're doing it last year. And he talks so serious to me. He's like, hey, do you want to cut their lawn? And I'm like, yeah. Go.
And then the tree's gonna bounce back, so pull it. Wait, hold up, just pause it real quick. Oh my gosh, you gotta hear about this chick. She killed 7 people, 1 blow. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. You have to glare first.
But the other knights didn't like Tim. She thinks she's all she honestly doesn't live up to the hype. Well, don't tell her that.
You
Why
missed
not?
your line, Grayson.
She'll
Eventually resigned. Sorry. It looks so cool. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Wait, you can't even see my face.
What's up?
Do it again. One more time.
Why don't you just say, give me a...
Why?
I'm on tonight and then my hips don't lie.
Stop it.
You're losers.
Taylor.
I wasn't ready. And then this time we go. So this time we go.
Taylor dropped another bomb.
I swear to God, if this lands on my face.
It's not.
Yuki, buddy.
The giants went back to sleep. Taylor started chucking rocks.
You hit my arm. And you almost hit me.
Shut up, you big oaf!
Stop.
You didn't do it for long enough. Back to that
The
face.
signal?
Rawr! Trying to climb the tree. Ah, I think I scraped my knee, Grayson. I made it!
Grayson, what just happened?
It happened again. Or the guy yesterday, the other guy I was talking about, he came over, he's like, hey, so this guy told me you guys were mowing lawns for you. And I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll mow it. Dressed in this. It might even be worse than last time. And Gwen's wearing completely normal things.
You had the opportunity to take it off before we came out.
I didn't think it. Do I look gay? A leap of faith.
Oh my gosh, shoot. Oh my gosh, shoot. I did it. I killed those things. They never stood a chance. Those giants, they were done for.
Of their success. That's so great.
Alright, redo that.
Bet. I'm gonna do that again.
What? I mean, no. I have complete confidence in your abilities, which is why you should go kill a wild boar in the woods. What? That's ridiculous. Yeah, you're right.
Wait, I forgot the...
What? Close the door.
Hold on. I broke it. What are you doing?
I don't know, I was just rolling your lead.
Don't walk out the door. Oh my god. Just walk to the door. I thought you wanted to film in here.
I did, I was just walking. Okay.
Don't leave the door.